Get in here. Come on. It's 8 o'clock. Strengthen your soul started. Get in here. You. You. I was waiting for you. We all were waiting for you. Get in here. Come on in. Grab a drink. A review of the schedule. As always, 8 o'clock we open up. 8:01 we go get drinks. We make sure we're ready. Some of you come pre-prepped. Someone once commented, we're used to this by now. We always have a drink. Thank you. It makes this stream at least 14% better. So get in here. Come on. Come on. My kids love that I say get in here. It's part of their favorite aspect of the show. Get in here. I'm having coffee tonight, but get in here. Some of you, I know what you're thinking. Some of you are saying, Kyle, that's a nice shirt. We've never seen that one before. Thank you. Thank you. Let me, well, we'll wait for a few more people to get in here, and then I'll tell you what's significant about this shirt. Some of you complimented that the last episode was your favorite episode so far. Thank you. I really do hope it helps. That's my dear hope, is that as many of us as possible would have a strong soul connected to God, full and free and even fun. So get your drink. We're going to take together in about 10 seconds. 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. Cheers. Let's take together. Let's talk about your soul. So, I said that I'd tell you a little bit about this shirt before we dive in, so I will. A number of years ago, so many of you know I run a nonprofit. I actually lead a church. But when I started the church, my soul was not nearly as strong as it is today. It was stronger than it had been, for sure, 100%. But I wasn't super strong, and one of the ways that I coped with the stress and difficulty of life was this. I ate and I drank. And I didn't get drunk, but I would rely on food and drink and late time relaxing in front of the TV to feel okay. And this shirt was one of the shirts I could wear that would sort of hide the fact that I was getting heavier and less in shape. And it was sort of my cover-up shirt, which is kind of weird as a man to say, but whatever. It was just true for me. And some of you men, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And a lot of you women do too. But then, as I started to strengthen my soul, as I started to cooperate with God, with Jesus, with the universe, but with Jesus, I found this out, that it transformed my body too, transformed my mind too. It's why I'm focusing on the soul in this series, because when your soul changes, your whole life changes. And so today, we're back in our 4-part series. I was going to do 5, but I think 4 will cover it tonight. Tonight we'll cover 2 that are so close that we're going to use these called filling in the gaps. And here was the analogy that you can have almost everything complete in your soul, but if you have a gap, the picture, the puzzle will never be quite complete. And so we've talked about love, the gap of love, the gap of significance. And tonight, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about validation and affirmation. I would say in Canadian society, both among men and women, these two aspects of soul development are critical, and they're critically underdeveloped. So what's the difference between the two, and then how do you know if you've got a gap in them? The difference between the two is this. Affirmation is an affirming about who you are. So it's about your gender, it's about your sexuality, it's about who you are as a woman or a man, it's about your identity. Validation is very related. It is about your identity, but validation goes one step further. It is also about your capability. So affirmation might be something like you're smart, you're intelligent, you're loved. Whereas validation goes, I love the type of man you are. I love the courageous woman you've become. So they're very related and they're super undeveloped, particularly in Canadian society. So let me give you some signs because that seems to be helpful if you have an affirmation and or validation deprivation, which kind of rhymes. So let me give them to you. Some on my mic here. Actually, my chair is, and it's making things complicated. So I'm going to fix that. There we go. Signs. Number one is this. This one I think is most obvious in a Canadian context, less so in an American context than other contexts. So if you're watching, and we do have people watching around the world, which is really, really cool. But in a Canadian context or any context that has the tall poppy syndrome, which is this, if you get up high, if you stretch up and you stand above the rest of the crowd, people will attack you. But it shows up in this. If you struggle to take compliments, if compliments crush you or make you want to cry, some people that shows up, it is 100% sign that you have lacked affirmation and validation. And today I promise you that the Father of your soul, God, again, what many of you might call the universe or life, and I'm telling you is Jesus, but the Father of your soul, he wants to affirm and validate you this very day. I promise you. I know that. It's his heart. God, one of the things you must understand about God to understand who he is this. He is one who blesses. He is one who blesses. If you miss that, you'll never understand him. So if you struggle to take compliments, it is a clear sign. And for me, it was a clear sign, clear as day. I struggled deeply to take compliments. Like if people would tell me something that they liked about me, I would usually try to like shove it off. So people would be like, Kyle, you're a phenomenal speaker. And I would just push it away. If somebody would say, you are really intelligent, I'd be, well, there are always people who are more intelligent than me. And some of you are thinking, how does he have an ego? And the truth is, when you get an affirmed and validated soul, something remarkable happens. You start to like yourself and love yourself. Some people loathe themselves. Some of you listening right now, you go, I don't really like me. Some of that is because you got to deal with the shadow side with God's help and power. But some of it is you're just unaffirmed and you haven't been validated. So compliments crush you. Number two is this. This one's more in religious circles. Again, I've said this before. I don't want you to ever become religious. But I call it false humility. It's very related to the difficulty we have receiving compliments. But this is where you pretend that you're not strong at anything. So if somebody says to you, you look really great, and you go, or you're in really great shape, and you go, it's only genetics. Or you spiritualize it. So somebody says, Kyle, you're a great speaker, and I go, it's only because of God. Hear me, that is true. I've been given a communication gift, and I've also cultivated it. That's what's most true. So if it were not for God and the opportunities I have received from life, it's true. I would have nothing. However, it was also a gift that I've received and now worked on. So false humility just makes it all only about God and not about any response that we had. So Jesus did have it recorded in his teachings that gifts came from his Father in heaven. That's true, 100% true. But he also called us to cooperate. So false humility is another sign. Let me give you two more real quick. A third sign is this, a general distaste. Ooh, I'm going to spell it wrong. That says distaste. Distaste. Apparently it's a tough day today. A general distaste for who you are. This particularly shows up for some people regarding their body. This may be controversial. That's not my intent to be controversial. My intent is to help people with their souls. But often, lots of people who hate their body um, do so because they haven't been validated or affirmed. So those who have gone through surgeries to change how they look or even potentially what gender they look like, you need to know that God dearly loves you, and so do I. And some of the issue may actually be a soul issue. So distaste, particularly for your body or your personality or your height or whatever it might be. And number 4 is it's the catch-all. It's there. You just go, as I'm talking, you go, I don't feel validated. I don't feel, I'm just making another section for us, I don't feel affirmed. I sense the gap. So I'll give you some causes really quick, and then we're going to go after how do you fix it. We're going to go, how do we give the Father of our souls, how do we give God the universe life, how do we give Christ the ability to change us? So causes, I'm going to blast through these real quick so that I don't take too long. One is this, just criticism. You lived in a highly critical environment. This will not be developed in your soul. Number 2 is this. If you lacked rites of passage, particularly into adulthood. If you turned 18 and no one was there for you, wasn't a big deal, you're going to lack validation. You're going to lack it. If you got your driver's license and there wasn't a celebration, a lack of celebration, which was super common, often causes an unaffirmed and invalidated soul. And number 3 is this, again, religiosity. So this one, I work with a lot of church people who are very unaffirmed and invalidated, and they do it to themselves. And it's because they have missed half of the story of Jesus. One half of the story of Jesus is this: you're more broken than you dare to admit. You need help, you need rescue, you need healing, you need to be saved. That is 100% true. But if you do not couple it with this, you are dearly loved, you're pursued, you're cared for, you were made, you were designed. That's why you're wanted. If you don't get that part, you'll have an invalidated, unaffirmed soul. So, causes, those were quick. Again, if you got questions, you can throw them up. I'll do my best to answer them at the end of the video. Sometimes I get to them in the midst of the video, sometimes I can't. So let's talk about what do you do about it and try it. So get a piece of paper. And list what you love about yourself. Seriously, do this. List what you love about yourself. Sometimes I'll ask people, tell me why I should like you, if I know them well enough, and I want to push them on this area. Tell me why you like yourself. Come up with a list of your own. Number 2, listen for what is loved. So while you're listening right now and list out what you love, then we'll do step 2 together. This is a prayer part. And then number 3, give me more. So take 30 more seconds. List out. You can just do it out loud if you don't have anything handy to capture it. List what you love about yourself. So I'll tell you some of the things I love about myself. I love that I'm a dad. I love that I can communicate. I actually like the way I look. I'm working on it, getting better, but I like the way I look. I like my hair. I like that I've got great eyes. Great eyes. They have a funny shape. Some people commented on that. But what I mean by that is my eyes work really well. There's I could list you 50 things I like. I'm sometimes funny, and I think I'm hilarious. There's stuff about me that I love. You got to list what you love. But then deeper than that, right now, we're going to ask God to affirm us and listen for what He loves. Okay, so let's do that right now. I'll pray for you, and your job is to listen and think. Okay, so you're praying, but you're interacting with your thoughts. Often God speaks to us there. So God, would you speak to us about what you want to affirm and what you want to validate? And just take time and listen. So here's what I heard. Um, you are a good father. It's really meaningful for me. Like really meaningful. You're a faithful son was the second thing I heard. The third thought in my mind was this: I trust you. That's what the God of the universe thinks about me. What did he say about you? Nothing came up. You don't have to force anything. That's lame. Don't ever force anything spiritually. The spiritual world is real, but it cannot be faked. And if it is, it's just disingenuous and dark. Don't ever fake. Then number three is just a posture of the heart, which is this: give me more. A couple times this week, you should just pause, list what you love about yourself, and then more importantly, listen to what the Father of your soul loves about you and go, give me more. And also with people, this also includes people, listen for what others love. And as people compliment you, go, thank you. Anything else you'd like to share? Give me more. Give me more. With that being said, I love you all. I hope you're having a great night, and we will see you tomorrow for Strengthen Your Soul.